For this type of beat, you're going to want somewhere in the 130 to 140 BPM range. And normally when I start out these beats, I like to start with some sort of brass. So I'm using the bigger section, the brass and woodwind, and expand 2. And normally I'll just start out by making some sort of bass line. Once I have a bass line laid out, I normally just add an octave real quick. And from there, sometimes I'll add the 7th because it adds a little bit more energy. Another really cool thing you can add is a stutter up here in the high notes. Also play around with adding some extra notes just to make it a little bit more complex. Another really good sound for these beats is the Vinexi octave brass. It's in a lot of his kits and it adds just a lot of energy and makes it really deep and dark. So I'll normally put that on the bass line. Another thing you can do is take any sine wave, square wave, or triangle wave and just add a little bit of portamento and play a really fast octave arp, and that adds a little bit more energy. On these, I'll cut the lows, I'll add a little bit of delay, and then I'll lower the volume on these sometimes if they're a little too loud. Another thing you can add is just taking some white noise and just doing a bunch of effects to it to make this really nice glitch layer. On these, I'll normally add some shaper box to make it a little bit more glitchy, some OTT to bring out all of the frequencies, and some EQ to cut them lows. If you want to add a little bit more energy, you can put a brassed in there. After that, I put an ARP in to add a little bit more of a mechanical vibe to it. Another staple of this type of beat is to add a theremin. The next thing I added was a yeet bell. Then I added a zay bell with some shaper box on it. Then I made the spooky sign lead in serum and I put it on top. Now that I've finished the melody, I'm going to go into transpose here. I'm just going to pitch it down a bit to get a little bit of a darker vibe. After mixing all the tracks, I threw them into this bus right here. And I have a G clip to make it a little bit louder, a really light portal just to add some texture, and I cut the lows. Just to complete a melody. For the drums to start with this hi-hat pattern. In this genre, you're going to want to have some space in between the hi-hats and a bunch of high rolls and some low hits. Then I just put on this really hard snare. After that, to add on some texture, I put this really low clap. Then I added 3 open hats. Then I added the classic say chant. Then I just add 3 snares, and make sure you add some rolls with these. I just added this clap to make the snare hit a little harder. Then I add this really heavy 808, and something you can do here is add these really short 808s, almost like kicks. And then I just added a soft 808 to use later in the track. Then I just played around with the volume of the drums to make them fit the beat more. Let me know in the comments what other types of beats you guys want to see me make a tutorial on. Thanks for watching.